Tried to weigh me down, crabs in a barrel. Wanna take my crown, renegade. I'm lighting up the way, I'm inspired. On the trail of life. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Power Table, conversations for Black women. I am excited about the second season. We are bringing you Black women throughout the state who are going to share their brilliance, their beauty, about the issues that are important to us and about us. So sit back, stay tuned, and enjoy the show. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the Power Table, conversations for Black women, about Black women, by Black women. Today I am so excited because I have one of my mentors in the house. She is the reason why I am who I am, and that she taught me very early in my career that we must keep the doors open for those who follow. So I want to welcome Miss Glenda Gill. Yay! Glenda. Hey, lady.
Hey, Miss Kelly.
How are you, beautiful?
I'm amazing.
That's what I like to hear. So today we could talk about a lot of things, but I really wanted to talk about the importance, again, of mentorship. You have been such a important part of my life. You took me under your wing when I was this young corporate lady trying to conquer the world. And I really didn't have anybody to follow. Like, I didn't have people in my family who have reached the goal that I had actually obtained at a very early age. I was, I think, in my late 20s or early 30s, and in at this corporate space of a Fortune 50 company, working there. Not knowing, they hired me thinking, I wasn't going to ruffle any feathers.
Just sit there and be quiet.
Just sit there and be quiet for a diversity lead position. And I was just like, okay. And then you came along. Because of you, they hired this position. And you really just sat me down and just taught me the way. And so what made that, why was that important to you?
I wanted you to succeed. And I knew what I knew, because I was learning as well, about what I could share with you to be successful in the role that they had provided you with. And the goal at the end of the day was to make change. And because we have not been in a lot of those different roles, I wanted to pour into you the fearlessness of making change, and that we got you when you started to make the change, so that you always felt that you were supported, that somebody had your back, and that we would be here to help you with whatever decisions that you saw within the role that you were in to enact and affect change.
Right. So, that's so funny you say that, because I don't even think I recognized at that time the role, like the magnitude of the role. I just thought it was a job, and it was going to pay me more than I had ever made. Like, I was like, whoa, what you mean a pension and a 401k? And I get a car too. It was like all these, things that no one in my family, anybody had ever talked about, that this is an opportunity. And it just is recently when I realized, wow, that was a great opportunity. It changed me.
Sadly to say, and I wish this was a different case. However, we just really got here. We did not have anybody before us in these positions to share with us about what the opportunities were when you got there, how to navigate through that space, what the space offered. I mean, I went into corporate America in my early 20s when I came out of college. I didn't know anything. I
Mm.
mean, really just go to work. You get paid every 2 weeks. They offered you some insurance,
Right.
and that was it. I knew nothing about the role. And so when I was given the assignment for Save a Girl, and before the assignment for Save a Girl, but when I actually went to work for Reverend Jackson, you don't know what the universe has in store for you, and you
True.
learn along the way. You it's like a baby comes in the world and the baby learns all along the way. And so we're learning along the way. What I learned along the way has fueled my passion and desire for what I do today. But I've always been in a space where I wanted to be supportive of women and
Mm.
always in a space of wanting to serve. I didn't recognize it though until my uncle made his transition and my aunt was pulling out pictures and things to put in the obituary. And she pulled out an article um, where I was featured, and I was 13 years old,
Mm.
and I was volunteering for the American Heart Association. Everybody else who worked with me at the Heart Association were on a co-op program because when I was in high school or junior high, well, I was in high school, they had co-op programs. I was the volunteer.
Oh, wow.
And but I always felt it in my gut to serve, to make the universe and the environment better, and always wanted to see women that looked like me, to support them to succeed. But not only that, but that we could grow together. So of
Awesome.
course I'm Libra, so it's all
Oh,
about balance and
okay.
fairness with me.
Right, right.
And I've just always been that way. And then to have the honor and the privilege to work with Reverend Jackson and
Absolutely.
learn about our rights in this country and how we have a dignity level, but we've got to know what that is. And so it has just been something that I wanted to pour into you because I knew that I knew they put you in a position. I was like, we're gonna help her to succeed, and we're
Right.
gonna do every. And then I was to tell you, I got your back, sister.
Right,
We got
right.
your
I
back.
mean, you guys really did. It's like I said, it just it changed the trajectory of my life.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I think also too, when you get there and you feel as if you were first, you're like, what road should I navigate? Do is my back? Do they have my back?
Right.
Because sometimes in those roles they give you nothing because they don't know anything about it. So what I would always share is do what you want to do,
Yep,
do
yep.
what makes sense.
The
You know,
fearless, the part of being
asking
fearless.
questions,
Right.
but knowing that if you was giving me this assignment to engage communities and to affect change, let me do that. And so
Right.
my role was, I'm here to support what you tell me.
Right, right. And I did. I would call you, be like, okay, they tripping. You be like, I got it. You call, be like, well, we and Reverend Jackson, and that would change everything. Boy, they'd be like, Kelly, what'd you say you needed again? No problem. So let's fast forward because that was, over almost, it was 25 years ago. That was 25 years
You're
ago.
dating me.
Well, I'm dating me too. I'm dating us both. And God, so much has changed. And everywhere I went, I would call you and try and bring you into the space to share knowledge. And even after George Floyd, I brought you into the space of company to share knowledge with those that are trying to navigate. And now today, you are passing that on to the next generation with save a girl, save the world, right?
Yes. The reason I told the story about the being a volunteer, I was a service girl in elementary school,
Mm-hmm.
and then the trajectory just kept shifting, but it kept the core of it was serving and being an example of what I wanted to have that I did not have. So about 15 years ago, um, sitting at a Rainbow Push luncheon, of course, the speaker who was to be the speaker, canceled. And of course, Dr. Julianne Malveaux became the surrogate speaker. And of course, she always has something to say, right?
Right. Profound to say. She was our first guest of this podcast.
Oh, wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Who's our board member, by the way. And she spoke from the podium and said, if we're going to save the world, we need to save our girls.
Mm.
And how prophetic was that
Right.
for us? So there, of course, women's luncheon. We're sitting at a table with women. And, of course, when we get inspired by an idea, the light bulb goes off. And we said, we should do that. And one of the ladies at the table said, well, if you can get it started, I'll give you the seed money.
Oh, wow. Wonderful.
So we started to meet for a year. And I had moved to California at the time. I was from Detroit, but moved to California. And I worked with the automotive industry, so I had a cadre of women in the industry. And that person was Pam Alexander, who was at the Ford Motor Company Fund. And the other ladies at the table, we started to meet monthly. So I was flying to Detroit every month, which was easy because I was working with the auto industry. And after about a year, I said, either we're going to do this or we're going to let this idea go. And we did it. So a young woman who lived out here in California says, you look like you're so busy. Let me help you. I was like, okay, because I needed the help. What do you want to do? We want to be a mentoring organization for young women. One of my other, I call her my mentor, Barbara Perkins, said, let me help you design this program. She's a OD specialist and a coach and
Right.
everything wonderful. And she helped us design what was to be Save a Girl, Save a World. So Dr. Malveaux invited us to come to her campus because she was the president of Bennett College. And she said, we're building a new global learning center. You could have it at our school. Oh, wonderful. So we got money, place. Now we got a program. Now we have to implement and execute this program.
Right.
So we are Save a Girl, Save a World is a multi-generational mentoring organization where we support young women in developing their professional and personal goals. And we are a GPS support for them. What they need. Our motto is called a triad, each one teach one. So
That's
it's
right.
high school students, college students, and adult mentors. We have 4 pillars: health and wellness, lifestyle and leadership, career entrepreneurship, and financial literacy and wealth legacy. We believe those are foundational pillars of a young person's life. And to have a mentor behind them to support them in the decisions that they're making for any of that. So I always say this was a divine assignment because it wasn't a role that I was looking for. It just was given to me. So I take it as it was given.
Awesome. Yeah, it's because I know originally, when you were first talking to us about it, I was like, oh, okay, because you really wanted to be in the mature woman space. You wanted, middle-aged cuties back. And then all of a sudden, you started like moving ground for young women. And I think you've always done that. You've done that officially and unofficially. You've been that person to so many of us. What have you learned, particularly from the girls, that have made you a better servant leader today?
I've learned that they are brilliant. They want us to be there for them. I've learned to not judge. And that was a part of it, too, of when we started doing this. I saw how the media was depicting young black women. And I always thought I was in touch. I'm in touch with the community. I know what's happening. I wasn't in touch.
Right.
And then I see how the media would showcase them. And I was like, they need us. Because I think in our pursuit of our careers, we left them.
Yep.
But we left them. However, it's what we needed to do. We didn't have anybody there for us. We were like the first. I got out of high school in 1971. I
Talking
was a
about
baby.
age.
I
You
was
were
a
listen.
right.
You talking about I was aging you.
I
You
was
just threw out your graduation.
I was a baby. I was 16. I
Right.
didn't have
Right.
anybody to really navigate for me because the people in my family was very basic. You know, my mother didn't work, but then she went to work because my father passed early, and everybody in my family, especially the women, there were professional jobs, but that was their first professional jobs. And so there was no real navigation about when you go there, they're going to give you some insurance papers. This is what you do. You get the 50, you get the pension package, but you also invest in yourself. You
Yeah.
save the money. You do this, you do that. I didn't know any of that. I was just kind of muddling through. They want us to be there for them and to have their back. Um, they want us to support them on the decisions that they make. What what they want more than anything is trust and love.
Yeah.
And so
Absolutely.
we want to be there to build up their self esteem, to tell them, you got this, baby. And they are so smart and they have so much creativity. And they just need like a nudge. Well, as what's her name? I can't remember her name. Cynthia, St. Marshall, help a sister up.
Mm-hmm.
Hasu.
Right.
And so that's what we want to be, is helping a sister up. Yeah, I did start out with Mac, middle aged cutie. However, I know that we got it, but these young ladies,
Yeah.
the world does not show them love. The world does not show them that they are beautiful. The world does not show them that they can do anything is possible for them. And so we are there to be a foundation of support so that they can achieve their dreams. One of the first things we do when we have our summit weekend is have them do a vision board so we can get a glimpse of who do they want to be, what they want to be, where they want to be it at. We want to expose the world to them. And some young people have not been in the world. They've just been in their bubble. So we want to say, hey, as you are in this bubble, we're going to bring you out this bubble. We're going to expose you to experiences so that you can see things. We're going to introduce you to people that be meaningful in your lives. We're going to give you some educational tools, but more so than any of all of that, we're going to be there to support you about what your dream is.
I love that. I just love that. And I can see on the girls' faces. I mean, you have them going all over the world, really. I mean, you have them in places that they have never imagined that they would be. Like, what are some of those things? Like, and why? Why do you put them in these spaces?
I remember my first trip with my mother. She took me to New York to see her sister. And I flew on a plane. It was late at night, and I was on the plane saying, Mom, there's islands in the water, which was the clouds. I didn't know.
Right.
But I got to New York, and I was like, what is this? And ever since then, I've wanted to be an explorer. I call myself Dora the Explorer sometimes when I get to places.
Okay. I love Dora the
So
Explorer.
I knew that it changed my trajectory about what was possible and where I could go and where I wanted to be. And I think for these young ladies, we've taken them to Honda Battle of the Bands. Just recently, 4 of our girls went to Essence to support some of our
Wonderful.
entrepreneurs. They never seen anything like it. And one of our mentees is like in her mid-20s. We've taken them to the Congressional Black Caucus because we want them to see how government works, what happens with policy and advocacy, and to know their representatives because we want them to be engaged in their communities. We've also taken them to Power Rising. We've taken them to Martha's Vineyard. We've done a lot with
They've been to
them.
more places than I've been. Good Lord.
They like to travel.
That's wonderful.
And then we want them to see, to be in those environments.
Yeah.
How do you handle yourself? How do you see other women that look like you? How they're navigating and growing and changing the trajectory of the world. We want
Right.
them to see that, because if you see that,
Yep.
you believe that you can be
it.
that.
Absolutely.
And
And it's
so,
Black excellence. I mean, they're seeing Black excellence in motion. It's not something they're just reading about. They're seeing it. They're experiencing it. Far too often, we don't get that.
right. So I want them to have the experiences that I did not have.
Right.
And it's important to me for them to have those experiences, because that's our generation.
That's our leaders.
I'm at a point of, I've done a lot, continue to doing what I want to do at this journey. However, those are the people we're going to have to knock on the doors to have access to get in, because they're going to be in those positions.
Yeah.
We have several young women that have gone on. I was talking this morning to the young lady that supports me, and we were talking about one of the young ladies is on air. She's an on-air talent, and
Oh,
she was
wow.
part of our mentees. One of our other young ladies just got promoted at a financial services firm.
Wonderful.
So we have, doctoral candidates. We've got young ladies. After 14 years, we've got young ladies who are now 10 years into their career.
Wonderful.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
And so while they graduated at 20 or 21, 10 years in, they're coming up on their 30s. And so those are the young ladies that are going to access and open the doors for that next generation.
Right.
And that's why we have this triad, because we need to keep continuing building the pipeline. We stopped for a minute, and we don't have the luxury to start over again. We just don't. And so we want the girls to also understand what sisterhood is. As you have like the Divine Nine and the sororities and all that, we can have that within our organizations as well.
Right. And you are predominantly work at HBCUs, correct?
Yes, we started at HBCU, so now we're at 6 HBCUs. I think probably 7. So we're at Bennett College, Benedict, Clark Atlanta University, North Carolina A&T, Tennessee State University, Howard University, and we're going to be at Miles College as well.
Oh, that's awesome. That is so awesome. I love that. And we both run nonprofit organizations, and as Black women, it's never easy. There's so much we have to do. What do you do to make sure you're centered to be able to serve the young babies?
Daily, I have a devotional practice, a daily practice, and it consists of opening my eyes in gratitude. I have a couple of things that I do. I got my little chimes and my singing bowl, but I am always pouring into myself. I'm serious about self-care, because I know that if I'm not whole, whatever I do is not whole, and it'll show up. So I make sure that I take care of myself. I make sure that I have outlets of music, outlets of reading, outlets of girlfriend time, outlets of trips, and then just my self-care outlet. On my monthly calendar, I put down for my massage, my facial, my little pampering moments. I really do what I need to do in order to take care of myself. And when I am feeling weary, I just retreat.
Right.
Because I have to, you have to fill your cup so you can support others, or you'll be depleted and you'll be sick. And not able to do what you want to do, live out your dreams and your own desires. So I make sure one of my girlfriends laughs at me. She said, "You always have a beauty routine going on." Yeah,
That's
I do.
right. That's right.
I have to. It fuels my mental health.
Right. So first, how can people support your work?
So you can go to www.saveagirlsaveaworld.org to read all about us and all that we are and all that we do. We give young ladies scholarships. Since our existence, we've given over $70,000 in scholarships. So that's where we are, and you'll see all the activities. We have a quarterly newsletter that we put out to talk about what we're engaged in our programs. Two of our pillars have programs. Our health and wellness pillar has a program around we call Speak Up. Talk about it, be about it. It's about health and wellness and commercial tobacco control. And then on our She CEO program, we have is around entrepreneurial and career development. And then financial literacy, we work with a partner because I'm a big believer of partnerships and collaborations. I don't believe you can have to do everything. You can partner with people,
Absolutely.
and team up around resources and content. And so we team up with a person that does a money camp every year. We send young people to go to the financial literacy money camp. She's very good at it. And then the lifestyles and leadership is kind of a cross-pollination of everything that we do. We want to put young people in spaces where they see leaders. So, yes, our website is www.saveagirlsaveaworld.org, and we are always looking for mentors to serve the young women. Every November, we have a summit, and it's at our anchor school, which is Clark Atlanta University, and we bring the students there for the weekend, and we just have a ball all weekend. We have a Black Girl Joy Festival that weekend, too.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you so much, Glenda. I love, 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 love you and appreciate you for just always pouring into me. I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for you.
And
So
you
thank
say
you.
that. But,
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
I say
all the
I
time.
say it for you that I love that you love me, and I love that you allow us to be sisters, because being sisters is important.
Absolutely,
And
absolutely.
and what we show each other is how much we love each other
Absolutely.
by our actions.
Absolutely.
So I thank you for loving me.
You're welcome. Mwah, mwah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wow, wasn't that great? I hope you enjoyed the episode and you found it empowering. You can follow us on X, formerly known as Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and our YouTube channel. Also, you can find out more information about the California Black Women's Collective Empowerment Institute at www.cablackwomen'scollective.org. See you next time.